Hey there, hi there, Pisces, and welcome to your June general reading. So, I feel like you are the main course, okay? You are the main attraction, Pisces, this month for June, okay? I have this beautiful stack of pancakes for you with butter and syrup and berries. So, this is just like a delicious, there's even bananas there too. This is a delicious, fulfilling breakfast right here. Like, this is a breakfast set for a goddess just like you, Pisces. And this is the Nine of Pentacles energy, okay? So I love this energy coming in for you. It's you are fully aware, like you are fully self-aware. You are fully conscious. I feel like you have exited out of a game where um there was a lot of players and they wanted to, toy with you a little bit, okay? I'm not gonna lie, okay, Pisces? And I feel like you're one of those signs. Yeah, you're one of those signs that you don't like being toyed with, okay? You do not like being messed with, and you give so openly and generously lots of love and compassion and kindness towards others, and it's not to be taken for granted. But I feel like in your past, you were always taken for granted. And this always kind of like, maybe not all the time, but it was a theme, a recurring theme. So that sort of made you kind of like devalue yourself and your self-worth and your self-esteem. And it brought you down to this place where you really felt just like, ugh. Like you were like, why do I feel so like ugh all the time? And it had a lot to do with, who you were surrounding yourself, who you were playing this like game with. But I feel like you've exited stage left, stage right. You've gone like you're out of the game. You're out of the circus show, freak show, whatever metaphor you want to put in on it and describe on it. But you definitely earned your stack, like your status, like you have stacked up in abundance. Okay, yeah, and I have the Lovers card here as well. Okay, which can often be a little bit judgy. I feel like a lot of people judge us as human beings in general for just who we choose to be our partner. Yeah, you're telling the story. Who we choose to be our partner and why we choose them to be our partner. And I feel like Pisces, you're not choosing someone to sort of make you feel equal or make you feel seen. You're choosing someone based off of just a general appreciation for, being with another person that likes you and you share similarities with and you can get along with each other on most days, right? So and I feel like there's also a lot of chemistry and a lot of fire like brewing, like there's a form here of, you know what are the components that it takes for a relationship to work out? Because I think Pisces, you focus on relationships and like your partner, and who you're with, like a lot actually. And there's the snake in the garden. So this is obviously a depiction from, like the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, the Bible, but it's taken to a very symbolic place. Okay, it symbolizes how you might seem vulnerable, right? Or you might seem like out in the open, right? Public. Like, and I feel like when you're out in public and you're with your person, it's a huge statement that you're making to not just people around you, because who cares what they think? Because of course we have the angel of judgment here, right? Who judged Adam and Eve for eating this apple from this tree of knowledge here, okay? But who doesn't want to learn knowledge, right? Who doesn't want to transform and learn more? The snake is definitely, a shedding of the skin, a transformational step in life, and not everyone can take it. But I feel like you have taken that so many times, Pisces, and it's brought you to a place where you really, truly, fully understand yourself, and it's a beautiful energy, okay? But it's also an energy where there's been a lot of agonizing pain and hurt, okay? Because there's been some betrayal, okay? You've had your heart broken before, you've picked the wrong person, right? We've all been there, I've been there. And so then you feel like this angel of judgment is coming down with rain of fire and brimstone or whatnot, and is sort of trying to shame you because you feel like you're stupid for picking somebody that you thought really cared about you and your feelings. But you're not stupid, Pisces. So this reading is starting off with you understanding your value and your worth. Like, you deserve this big stack of pancakes. You deserve the status that you have with just being you. Like, relationship or not relationship, single, not single, you still deserve the status of your own individual work that you have done, regardless of if the person you picked to be your partner has done the work on their spiritual growth, their mindfulness, or not. Because sometimes we find ourselves in relationships with people that have not done the spiritual work and have not fully, higher consciously brought themselves up to speed with what's going on. They're not very mindful. But you see other good qualities in them, and that just sort of is what's good, right? It's like, okay, they have other good qualities, right? They don't have to all be like spiritually mindful and all that. There has some degree of that, but it doesn't need to be at where you are, what level you're at, Pisces. Okay? Yeah, Page of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and Queen of Swords. Yeah, so sometimes I think, Pisces, you bring like this very intellectual, highly intelligent energy towards everything you do, really. You really are a queen on her throne, Pisces, knowing your worth, okay? And I feel like you're leading people by example, by how you show up and what you represent. So if you're someone who is not you're not someone who just takes a back seat, right? You're not like in the back burner, just waiting to be chosen. And I was just watching these dating shows, and one of them was Cheat. I think it was Cheat, and it was talking about how these relationships broke up because one of the people, or maybe both of them, cheated, and there was like a therapist there and a host there, and they were trying to sort of help these couples sort of reconcile and see if there was anything left that they might be able to start the relationship over again on a better, solid foundation. And Pisces, you're not gonna just like do all the work in the relationship and not expect some sort of acknowledgement for all your work. You're also not someone who is going to let your relationship like overtake everything else that you do. So it's good to remember that when you go into any relationship or any environment with this Queen of Swords energy, you're reminding the people around you, like, don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good energy to start any relationship with, and even any like job with as well. And I think you could also be having a lot of dreams about, like, here we have the Seven of Cups, okay? We have this man here, he's looking at the cups, or they're more like bowls really, but they're like, there's a snake here, and looks like a dragon over here, and water coming out here. It's a whole like network, okay? It's a whole network of energy, or like people, places, things. It's a whole, I feel like these like people exist here. Dreams exist here. Ideas exist here. Energies exist here. And this fog and this cloudy like fog is sort of, it's kind of made it so it's hard for you to see everything all at once, or your person to see everything all at once. And I think you're seeing what this other person probably is feeling, and I think you're really good at picking up other people's energies. And I think that someone who can take a minute to sort of like study and learn and grow and transform and bring that energy into a relationship is somebody that you have no problem with associating because they like do the work, right? You don't have to do the work for them. Whereas I think this Page of Pentacles is somebody who's more younger, more immature, somebody who is still like mapping out what they want to do, trying to figure out where they want to go, hasn't really made up their mind. Stop! Okay, guys? So somebody, like, when you're like, think about it this way. If you're somebody who is looking for a stable, reliable person in your life, is that going to be this young, immature person who still hasn't decided if they want a stable, monogamous relationship, and they're still trying to figure their shit out? Or are you going to or is there going to be somebody who can see past illusions, who can see clearly, who can decipher what is going on, and all these like networks of energies and ideas, and is somebody who is stronger in, a balanced way. Okay, so you can obviously, like, if you're ready for to just say, well, I'm gonna just see what happens here, right? So yeah, I think what's happening here is bluff, pretending, mask, and exaggeration. Okay, somebody is toying with you, Pisces. Like, they're wearing a mask. That's why the Seven of Cups is coming up as like illusions. There's also ladders here. Like, I'm getting like corporate ladder. So there's stuff happening in like the work area of your life where you're trying to bring this like intellectual, highly intellectual sort of awareness into the environment. But you're met with a sort of like immature person on one hand, and then on the other hand, you're met with somebody who is maybe more mature intellectually, but they still are caught up in illusions. And there's the fog, the foggy, cloudy mist here. And then we have Five of Swords. Yeah. So we have these two witches here looking just dazed and confused, not sure what's going on. This one just looks like downright like miserable, like upset. Something has gone awry. Something has gone wrong here. There's these daggers floating in the air. And then this witch over here looks very pleased with herself. Like, this is what she intended all along. And she's catching these daggers one by one. This isn't, or maybe she's throwing them up in the air. I don't know. But she's not. You know what I think it is? I think that these two witches, I think these might represent like two women in your life you thought you could trust. But they weren't able to handle, like, it's too hot in the kitchen. You know that saying? Like, it's not. You have like a book of spells here. I think there was some kind of spell work that was to be done to like sort of fix or mend a situation. And these two witches couldn't handle it. This one just looks like she just completely just like, no, too much. It's just too much. But you, I think, are this one in the purple over here, just like, yeah, I got this. Like, this doesn't affect me at all, right? And then this one looks like the older one who is just confused as like what is going on. And I think, a lot of this has to do with the fact that when you are over here in your own world, working on your own shit, okay, Pisces, and then, people come in and they want, a part of you, Pisces. They, want some sort of energy from you. And you're like, okay, you can have some of my energy. I'll show you my world. Like, I'll show you what I can do, what magic I got cooking up here. And if they can't handle it, like, they're not meant for you, right? Because you're over here with this, like, very powerful energy. You bring the Queen of Swords energy. Bring intellect and intelligence. And I can't like emphasize that enough, is that you are an intelligent person, Pisces. So why bother being stressed out or worried about what these other feminine energies, witches, can't handle, women can't handle, right? Maybe they thought they could put the witch hat on, and then they were like, oh shoot, I can't, this hat is too heavy for me, right? Like, there's too much pressure, right? But not for you, Pisces. Yeah, we got Ace of Pentacles. This is where your abundance comes in. So I think when you stop worrying about, you know, what these relationships are like, where they're going, when they're going to get sorted out, like, we'll figure that out. You'll figure that out. But in the meantime, you're focusing on your magic, your powers, your strengths. And that is bringing in this beautiful abundance for yourself, financial prosperity, security, blessings. You're achieving great success here. Okay, Pisces. And it's coming from a place of like honesty and truth and power and beauty. And it's something that I feel like lifts the fog. And it kind of gives you this like lavender night sky with these lavender fields and the flowers. And it's just a beautiful, bright, purpley sky night. Like, it's nothing too heavy. It's nothing too pressure. Like, there's not too much pressure here. Yeah, and then you have the Page of Swords. Okay, yeah, warrior, spiritual warrior. So I think once upon a time, Pisces, you were a Page of Swords. You know, you were young, you were out in the world trying to make something for yourself, and you had to gain wisdom and clarity, and you had to gain immense amount of power, and you had to really truly believe in yourself and then your purpose. And I think you finally found it. I think it's teaching wisdom. It's teaching other younger people that you are going to get through whatever hardship you're encountering at this time, whether this be, a love for interest relationship where, this person is young and immature, hasn't figured out their shit yet, whether this is an older person that maybe is intellectual like yourself, but is still clouded by illusions and is still pretending that they're not they're not capable of breaking the barrier, taking off the mask, revealing their true self. Because that is their true self. Their true self is a pretender. Their true self is an exaggerator. So I feel like this reading really took a turn into, you know, self-discovery and realizing that while you are trying to figure out, what's coming next for you for June, and I definitely highly recommend watching your love reading for June, that there's powerful messages here. And even if I look closely at this Queen of Swords card, there's like an angel in the sky up here, okay? And there was an angel in the Lover's card as well. And that angel was more like, oh, what did Adam and Eve do, right? What did you do? Like, what did you do, Pisces? Did you, start up a relationship with someone that, the public eye is going to see as, like, this, like, terrible relationship? Or, like, there are things like that. But you have to, I think, the Queen of Swords knows, like, she doesn't care what other people think, okay? And we got singing and dancing. Express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. Oh, I love that, Pisces. Yeah, singing and dancing. So there's a lot of great music out there. Sapphire by Ed Sheeran is a beautiful song. There's Messy by Lola Young is a great song. And dancing too. You can find yourself dancing along to the music you love and enjoy. And it's going to awaken you. And it says it's going to awaken your psychic senses. And I think the Queen of Swords is a very powerful message of psychic abilities, because when you tune into your wisdom and your intelligence and your higher intuition, that sword represents all the power that you have and contain, and it's a feminine force behind it. So I feel like you have probably had a lot of dreams of being with a group of women and fighting for justice and fighting for peace and escaping men who are torturous, toxic jerks. Okay? I think you've had these dreams throughout most of your life, and they probably started when you were very young, Pisces. Okay? So, so powerful message here. And that's why I think when you try out these relationships with other women, you often get, this 4 or 5 of Swords card, okay? Because you're showing off your powers and your strengths, and you should be proud of that. They just can't handle it, okay? They just can't handle it. And you know what? That's fine, but you gotta just keep going, moving on. Movement. Yeah, here's the snakes. Movement. Yeah. Okay. You're moving on. You're shedding the old skin, the old year, whatever, the old month, whatever, however long it was that you put yourself into relationships with people who were there for, a time, meant for a time, whatever. But now you've recoiled. I don't even know if that's a term or you've rethunk. Rethunk. That's not a thing. I'm just making up words now, but I think you've rethought. Okay, there we go. Now my brain's working. I think you've rethought, your strategy and your plan for moving forward. I think people have hurt you in the past, but I think you're able to forgive people who you've actually grown a strong connection with, or a spiritual bond with, or a transformative bond with. And I think you're able to learn from those people. And I think that is your soul family, and that is your soul tribe. And it hurts a little bit. It stings a little bit when the people you want to be there physically for you, to help you with situations, and they have the access and they have the availability, to do it, sort of put themselves sort of in this trance almost, where they're not being spiritually led, or they're not being led on a material form either. So trusting in your spirit guides and trusting in your intuition is going to be really key here moving forward. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles, collaborative energy, bringing you in abundance. I think you're collaborating here with your soul tribe, your soul family, your spirit guides. I think you're getting messages from above, from the universe, from source, from spirit. I think these guides are bringing you back down to, I don't want to say reality, because it's okay to have your head in the clouds and daydream and, hope for a better tomorrow and all that fun stuff. But I think this is your heads aren't even in the clouds. I think your head is out in the universe, exploring like an astronaut. I think you are an explorer. You're someone who really redefines what the term pioneering is, because you are a pioneer, but you're also someone who most people will look at and say, "Oh, Pisces, look at all the dumb things Pisces did." No offense, I'm not saying that's true, but these are obviously negative people. These are negative influences, and they're harsh and they're judgy and they're like, "Oh, wow, Pisces was in such a vulnerable place once upon a time. What makes them think they're smart or whatever?" And it's I think Pisces, you want to be remembered for your ability to love, and your ability to be kind, and your ability to, and also your ability of being intelligent and forgiving and emotionally intelligent. And Pisces, you are these beautiful things. You embrace these beautiful qualities, and they bring you abundance. And sometimes you do, when you are around negative people, you are going to maybe doubt that a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we got Lilith, reclaim your power. Yes, Lilith energy, Pisces, reclaim your power. Okay, don't let any toxic males or toxic male energies tell you that, channeling your Lilith energy is anything negative or bad. There are going to be obviously men and women who want to, control the narrative or control you or control your energy. But Lilith, remember Lilith, she was, the story of Lilith is she was supposed to marry Adam, actually. And she said no to God. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to do whatever I want." And then she met Lucifer, the devil. And then she gained all this awesome power because she said no. So you say no too, right? You say no, I've had enough. You want to speak your truth. You want to share your wisdom. And I think Adam and Eve have their own beautiful story, and that energy can definitely be incorporated. The lovers, the twin flames, the soulmates. But there's other energies at play here, Pisces, that are bringing out this beautiful Lilith energy in you. And then we even have Kali, step into unknown, do not be afraid. So you can have this energy where you're doing the right thing, you're letting your spirit guides guide you, and you can also challenge things too a little bit, and challenge the beliefs of the people who've come before you, and say, wait, I'm changing things up here, I'm creating a new timeline here. Like, maybe people are trying to write your story for you or help you, guide you on your story, and that's great, and you love that and you appreciate it. But you also want to change and maybe tweak a little thing here and there, which is fine too. And I think that's what you're doing. You're reclaiming your power and you're stepping into the unknown. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. We've got the star and lavender. Surrender yourself with love. Surround yourself with love. Or surrender, Yeah, this star energy, this lavender, calming, beautiful energy presence, sitting there, hanging out with your witchy friends that get your vibe, that get your aesthetic. It's overall, it's a beautiful energy, and it's a beautiful place, and it's a beautiful time of peace. And don't forget, you look at the stars, you channel in their energy. You love reading your horoscopes. Bye. And channeling that energy and sharing those messages and just being your beautiful self, and all is going to come together and lead you down a beautiful path, okay, forward. So that's what I have for you, beautiful Pisces. Love and light always. Bye. Luna says bye. Her middle name's Lavender too, so that's cool. All right, bye.